A question that does arise occasionally is why, during the case that somebody is appealing a negative DST, the clinical commissioning group, the NHS body, will not meet the costs of paying for the patient's care whilst the appeal is ongoing. Now, this is a fairly straightforward question to answer, and it simply relates to the fact that the NHS have undertaken an assessment, and their position flowing from that assessment is that the individual is not entitled to funding. Now, the individual's representatives are of course entitled to appeal that, and there will be a formal appeal process that they can instigate, the outcome of which may be that the original assessment decision is overturned. If it is overturned, then the funding will be backdated to the date at the point in time that the original assessment, the original negative outcome, was laid down by the clinical commissioning group. Now, of course, from a client's perspective, an individual's perspective, it can seem very unfair that in the meantime, during an appeals process that can take a long time, they are having to pay the care fees on an ongoing basis, especially if it's the case that a property may have to be sold, for example, or assets realised in order to meet these costs. Unfortunately, we can only proceed on the basis of the system that is in place, and that is the system that is there. From the other side of the coin, the NHS will say that it could simply therefore be the case that everyone could appeal a negative decision, regardless of the prospects or future entitlement to a successful appeal, agreeing with them or not. On that basis, clearly, the NHS cannot simply meet the cost of everyone who is in care pending an appeal which may agree with the NHS in the first place. So whilst we do sympathise with the patient and their view that perhaps in a very strong appeal case the NHS should meet the cost of care, unfortunately we can only operate under the system that's in place as laid out within the national framework and by the implemented by the various clinical commissioning groups across the country. So yes, you are fully entitled to appeal a negative decision you do not agree with, and of course as experts in this area we will be more than happy to advise you as to the prospects of success of any future appeal. But in the interim period, pending receipt of a decision being overturned at an appeal, the individual will be expected to meet the cost of their care in full where their assets exceed £23,250. If you have any questions about continuing healthcare funding, we operate a system whereby we have a team of experts available by telephone who are more than happy to have confidential, free and crucially no obligation to proceed in instructing us discussions where we would hope to advise you of your position and how we may be able to assist. You can call us by telephone on 0121 227 8940. Alternatively, you may wish to complete an online assessment. Our website address is www.continuing-healthcare.co.uk. Thank you.